with Saraya taking a shot at dirt sheet reports and more. This is Wrestling Up. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for September 24th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Touching on the changes he expects to take place in WWE under Triple H, Ricochet told NBC Sports Boston, "I think the presentation of championships have always been important to me. From 1992 to 1999, it was all about the championships, you know what I mean? I think there will probably be lighter on those, which will help viewers watch it a little better and understand better. It's a great product that's going to be put out there, I think. Everyone's in a new creative spirit and trying to think of new things, so it's crazy to see everyone talk and think about new things. Maybe it's just because everything is new and everything is changing, but I think the presentation is still going to be WWE Spectacle, this spectacular presentation. But I think it's really going to put some more focus on the championship and being a championship-driven like story. Whatever the stories are, we'll lean more towards that rather than the cartoony character aspect of it." With Jeff Jarrett no longer working for WWE as Senior VP of Live Events, his wife Karen Jarrett had this to say about it during a Q&A on ad-free shows. "I think it's a blessing that he's not there. I still think he has so much to offer to the business inside of the ring, and I think he would have been limited working there with all the knowledge that he has. I don't know that he would have been truly happy with the changes that were made. So I think God was taking care of us by doing that." Talking about the future of the series, Dark Side of the Ring co-founder Jason Eisner told Comic Book, "It's not something I can quite answer yet, but we're definitely thinking about more Dark Side of the Ring. It's definitely something that will, hopefully, be in the cards in the future, but right now, we're gearing up for Tales from the Territories to come out. But yeah, there's going to be plenty more wrestling documentaries that are going to come out from me." As the Great Muta made his presence felt on AEW Rampage, siding with Sting and Darby Allin, it seems Sting will be involved in the final match with the Muta persona with Pro Wrestling Noah writing. "We are pleased to announce the participation of AEW superstar and international pro wrestling legend Sting at the Great Muta Final Bye-Bye event, which will be held on Sunday, January 22nd, 2023 in Yokohama. It was the Great Muta who came to the unexpected rescue of Sting on AEW Rampage Grand Slam this week. This incident triggered him to partner with Sting at the Yokohama Arena event." With Scarlett attempting to shoot a fireball at the face of Drew McIntyre to interfere on behalf of Karrion Kross, it's been said by Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful that the low blow that was done after was improvisation. We're told it very clearly the flash paper was not ready for live TV and didn't work in a moment where it needed to catch enough of someone's face to sell. Word got delivered to Karrion Kross to keep going. He and Drew McIntyre improvised the rest of what happened. Reacting to Chris Jericho defeating Claudio Castagnoli for the ROH World title, Booker T said on his Hall of Fame podcast, "I think it's smart trying to put some light on that Ring of Honor title, that Ring of Honor brand. I don't know what that Ring of Honor brand is anymore, other than it being a part of AEW now. I haven't heard about any Ring of Honor shows, but if you're trying to keep that name alive, that Ring of Honor name alive, to have the title on someone like Chris Jericho, I think it does that, you know? I think it's important if you plan on doing something with that brand down the road, it's important to keep that brand alive." Speaking of Jericho, he talked to GQ magazine recently about still being able to go in the ring at his age, saying, "I always say that when I lose a match, people think it's the best match. When I win a match, suddenly it's a 51-year-old Jericho holding down the young guys. And you know, I don't mind. I'm 51. I'm not ashamed of it. I've had 32 great years. But man, if I can reinvent myself and maybe have 4 or 5 more years wrestling at the highest of levels, why not do it?" With him recovering from his torn pec following surgery, Cody Rhodes talked to TMZ Sports about being given a potential timeline and joked about making a rushed return to in-ring action. They know I'm stupid, and I try to test it. I got in my mind where I want to be, and I think a lot of fans have in their minds where I'd like to be, and that's hopefully where it's at. They've treated me like the house that built me, and honestly, it was amazing. We were back, and everything was rolling so fast, and then I tore my pec. It was like the best 3 months of my life. Hopefully, get back to that soon. Giving props to Kevin Owens for his promo on Raw, former WWE writer Freddie Prinze Jr. compared Owens to MJF, noting, Kevin Owens came out to interrupt Austin Theory and hit him. Well, he hit him, but before he hit him in the face, he hit him with a promo that I would put up there against anything MJF's done in the last year and a half. And he's damn near almost done it 2 times in a week now. He was so real, and so in control of every single moment. His walk the stairs, the entrance to the ring, all while talking. He was patient, he was calm, and when it was time to go in on this guy, he went in on Theory. And when Theory's natural instinct is to look away, because if you look at him, you're going to want to punch him, Kevin Owens started pushing him and slapping him and demanding eye contact, and I felt he was saying some real stuff in there. With MJF, the star was called out by Disco Inferno on Keeping It 100 for constantly garnering cheap heat. I'm gonna give them a little bit more time than 1 week. MJF is a ratings draw. This show is drastically worse without him on the show than with him. We saw that. They were under 1 million consistently without him. I think he's a draw, but I think his biggest flaw, and nobody talks about it, is he constantly uses cheap heat in every single promo he does. It's completely unnecessary for his character. He doesn't have to. With Wrestling Inc., former WCW star Konnan spoke about CM Punk's rant during the post-all-out media scrum and how this put AEW president Tony Khan in a tough spot. What I don't think was cool, bro, was he just totally embarrassed Tony, which is not cool, because Tony's a cool dude. I don't think he deserved that. When he told them, you don't need to clarify anything, he just punked him. If it would have been me, it would have been a whole different story. I would have cut his mic off and that would have been the end of it. Tony just kind of, what could he do, bro? I felt so bad for him because I like Tony. Giving advice to Tony Khan in regards to the investigation into the backstage brawl between the Elite and CM Punk, Vince Russo told the Wrestling Outlaws, I got a better job for Vince McMahon. This is what I want to see. I think Tony Khan should hire McMahon to investigate that backstage brawl. Who would know better than Vince McMahon? How many of these things Vince went through? Backstage fights, how they were started, and he was guilty. I would put Vince McMahon on that, bro. That might help him save face. After competing as Asher Hale on 205 Live and NXT for WWE, Anthony Henry is now a part of AEW and had this to say about the differences between Tony Khan and Triple H, telling Wrestling Inc., Tony's an interesting character. I don't know that he sleeps a whole lot. He's a busy man. He's always on the go, but he will take the time out to speak with you. That was the other thing too at WWE. I never met Vince. I did meet Hunter, of course, and I briefly talked to him a few times, and he would tell me good match, stuff like that, but no in-depth conversations. I talk to Tony all the time. Now, they're not super in-depth conversations. I don't go out to lunch or dinner with them or anything like that, of course, but he will take the time to thank us for being there and tell us it was a good match or whatever, give his feedback to us, things like that. It is very hard to catch him when he is not busy though, so I mean that comes with the nature of it. With it reported following her debut in AEW on Wednesday that she is not cleared for in-ring action, formerly known as Paige in WWE, Saraya is set to have a segment on next week's Dynamite and seemingly took a shot at those previously mentioned reports, writing, ignore the dirt sheet clickbait. See you Wednesday. As WWE continues to play the song White Rabbit during commercial breaks, they did so again on SmackDown. After the show, fans were greeted to flyers left on their cars, with coordinates leading to Rogers Place in Edmonton, Alberta, which will be the site of next week's Raw. recalling how the late great Brodie Lee did not want to be involved in Dark Order bits on the Being the Elite YouTube show, Alan Angels told Talk is Jericho. It started with Alex Reynolds and John Silver, who were kind of doing the recruitment bits or whatever. Eventually, that got Brodie involved, and Brodie was very hesitant about it at first because he wanted to be taken as the serious heel. He was kind of hesitant about it and stuff, but once he did a few, he was like, okay, I got this. He could still be taken as this serious character, but it was just the rest of the Dark Order who were lackeys. We feared him and all this stuff, but kinda in a more comical way, where on TV, it was almost a more serious thing. Eventually, we started to do more BTE stuff on TV, which I thought was pretty cool. The casket bit, if you remember, he had just beat Cody for the TNT title. Me, Silver, Reynolds, and then bring out this casket, and while doing this little silly dance or whatever, and we open the casket, and it's supposed to be Cody Rhodes in there, but we open it, and it's Vance. He gets up and he flexes, and to me it was so funny, because it was a BTE bit that made it onto TV. It was at that point where Brodie thought, okay, this could be something very cool. Talking about Chris Benoit on his podcast, Kurt Angle mentioned how he isn't going to erase parts of his career just because he wrestled the star. Oh, by the way, I did want to say this. I know that people don't really care about me talking about Chris Benoit, but I'm not doing it for Chris Benoit. If I erase Chris Benoit, I'm going to erase most of my career, and I'm not going to erase myself. So a lot of people might not agree with me having this show today talking about Chris and everything. I don't condone what he did outside the ring, but what he did in the ring was phenomenal, and I love the guy for that. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.